Following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah!
Go Cowboys!
Let's go, baby!
Are you ready for a break?
Yes.
Are you ready for a break?
Absolutely.
Ready for a break?
Yeah, and so much for that.
It's time for The Break on DallasCowboys.com.
We were on a break!
With Ambar Garcia, Bryan Broaddus, Voch Lombardi, and Derek Eagleton.
It is Thursday, October 23rd, 2025, Season 21, Episode number 64. Welcome to the latest edition of The Break, live from the SWBC Mortgage Studios at the Star. We are presented by LG. LG is the world's #1 OLED TV brand for 11 years and counting. See why at LG.com/OLED Evo. Since Amber's doing it, I'm gonna do it too.
Okay, I see we're in a mood today. Right. We're in one of those moods today.
I'm in a silly mood today. I am. So this can go a lot of ways.
Stop banging on the table.
I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry.
Guys, all that sound that you guys constantly hear,
right.
That's Derek and his rings. He has 2 rings and he keeps hitting the table all the time.
You can tell the mood Derek is in by how he's dressed. If he's dressed real nice and suited and booted, he just got out of some meeting that he didn't want to be in, and he's frustrated. But when he's casual with his hot boy shoes on, he's in a fantastic mood. We telling jokes. He catching the hallway. What's up, bro? When he suited and booted, hello, Voch. But when he feel good, what's up, bro? What's good? DE? You know what I'm saying?
It's kind of true.
That's facts.
That's a good description.
It's kind of true. It's kind of true. If you see me in a suit or a sport coat, it means I got some things going on that's got my mind twirling a little bit.
So leave you alone.
Yeah, that's actually really, really, really well. That's a good observation.
I'm an analyst.
That's a good observation. All right, let's talk some Cowboys football. All right, let's start first with some injuries. There were 2 guys that did not practice for the Cowboys yesterday. Bryan, what are you hearing about Trayvon Diggs and his concussion and Donovan Wilson with the elbow and the shoulder?
The elbow is going to be – that's just with Donovan is – he played through that the other day, and his shoulder's been a problem too, and they're just trying to get that thing – I think there's some soreness involved here, and they're just making sure that they don't bang it around anymore with that. Diggs is going to continue to go through the protocol stuff. We'll see how today plays, but that protocol stuff, it's very like you don't mess with that stuff. When you're in that, they make sure you do all those tests. Everything has to check out completely well before they'll put you back out there. So that's what they're just waiting on right now. We'll see if we'll see how that plays. The one thing I do want to tell you, Derek, is that about BB and his availability. And this is the one that I think is going to be to keep an eye on. Yesterday he did some things, a limited role. Today they're going to have him do more. And then Friday, hopefully more on that with the chance of playing on Sunday.
Okay. So
keep an eye on this one today. Watch the injury report and check it out because they're looking at it as, okay, did a little yesterday. Can he do more today? Can he do more Friday? And can he play on Sunday? So that's something I'll give you a little tip on.
That's good. I was not expecting. I was actually expecting once they open this window, maybe 2 weeks, maybe get to the bye and go after. But to hear that there's a possibility for this week, and by the way, going against a defense that we're about to talk about it here in a second, that is really, really good when you talk about pressure. I think that's something that could be helpful for the Cowboys.
I was laughing just a second because I thought you were going to ask one of those questions that was going to put us in a 25-minute fight.
No, I was not.
We didn't get the
that was
stuff
Voch
yet.
who started the fight.
I felt like the Broncos offense got slided big time yesterday.
I didn't know we was live, so I was just
well, you know what Voch did. Voch did that old walk in a room, throw a grenade, and then be like, ain't my problem. Let's see where we go. And that's exactly
that was all good. That was all good, man.
Ambar was the only one.
I enjoy that. I went back and watched it. I'm like thinking, okay, was I a bad guy? I'm like, no, I wasn't a bad guy. I wasn't a bad guy.
You know me.
I was looking for reactions.
No, I love good conversation.
I was AG's reaction where she just kind of tilts her head. Like, we're really going to do this. All right, let's see.
Well, that was what I heard. Derek. And then
I wanted to make sure.
Bryan,
I wanted to make sure that I wasn't
serious.
I wouldn't make sure I wasn't being mean about it. That's what I was trying to do.
No, never mean, man. We always have good conversations.
Okay.
That's one of the good things about the break right now.
Yeah, this defense is going to be when you're ready to get to it. It's worth talking about.
Well, before we get to the defense, there was a topic I had yesterday. I wanted.
Oh, here we go.
That we didn't get to.
Last week,
I did not get to. But Jerry made some comments earlier this week about George.
Jerry Madeline?
No, Jerry.
Jerry Jones.
Jerry Jones.
Shouts out to Jerry Madeline.
Made some comments about George Pickens. Here was the comment. He said, "Any and everything about George Pickens is crossing our mind. Sure. It certainly can generate conversations between people in the building without George being in the room, and it can cause a lot of conversation, I'm sure, around the league. Yeah. The answer is certainly he's a topic of interest and discussion because of the success he's having." He was being asked specifically about the Cowboys and what they want to do on a contract with all the success that he's having. Let's dive into it a little bit from the standpoint of, like, if you think about it, like a full 360 view, what are the options that the Cowboys have realistically with what they can do with George Pickens?
Realistically, that'll frustrate everybody at this table. They'll let him test free agency. They'll get a comp third, because I would assume they'll let him test if he's too expensive. Mm-hmm. And we'll just be living on that third round pick whenever we get it.
More picks.
But sound like a scout every day.
But boy,
I've been hanging around you too long, and now you're flipping on me and saying "F them picks."
Yeah,
that's definitely me.
My man Les Snead has got me convinced to F them picks.
I changed my mind, by the way. I don't want to send the picks.
Okay,
anyway,
good.
Anyway,
we did all that yesterday.
You're a flip flopper. I've learned you're a flip flopper.
When you get more information, you have the right to change your mind, Ambar. Ambarlita?
You're always flip flopping. No,
hey, man,
I don't like flip floppers.
Come with me. I can always lead you the right way. Just
man, but that dude over there on the West Coast, what show would be nice to have?
Stop it.
But
somebody asked who that guy on the West Coast.
No, we
ain't
talking about
him. He asked you on Twitter. I saw what you said.
Yeah, I told him.
Yeah, you told him, but you didn't tell him on our program.
You can do what you want on Twitter.
Yeah,
but
not
on this air.
Not on this program.
We ain't saying names.
They got lawyers who will come downstairs and talk to you.
No, they'll be standing right outside.
Yeah, they'll be like arms crossed.
Yeah. I think they part of the tour. Right. Aside from moving on from Pickens and letting him test free agency and getting him to come third, I think the correct answer is to give him money. Give him the money, deal with the agent. You know, hopefully Pride doesn't get involved with him, and just try to retain that guy. I think one of the biggest reasons why you didn't sign him immediately is you just kind of wanted to see what 1 year of him would be like.
Yeah.
And one thing that's encouraging, and shouts out to DallasCowboys.com and all the great people that work here. They get all the access and they ask all the players, and we just get all this footage. You see the players, hey man, what you think about? Oh, GP's a great teammate. Yeah. Oh, great guy. Yo, that you see people loudly vouching for him.
Yeah.
So when you get the negativity that was in Pittsburgh over on this side, we like, hey, we don't see that. He's a great teammate. He's fantastic to be around. Sounds of the Sideline, another fantastic thing that happens over here at .com. He was mic'd up. Mm-hmm. And boy, Pickens is something else. And just me seeing his energy, seeing him on the sideline, seeing how his teammates react to him, I think CeeDee Lamb needs a guy like that. I think CeeDee Lamb has been surrounded by gentlemen, and that kind of makes CeeDee Lamb a gentleman. And that's no disrespect.
No, I hear what you're saying. Yeah.
Cooper is a very technical. He's very chill. He does his job. Brandon Cooks is the same kind of way. Michael Gallup is just chill. But I think a lot of Cowboy fans miss the air quotes here, the dog that Dez was. Mm-hmm. And I think Pickens got some of that same stuff in him, and you see that come out of Lamb now. I think if you're Jerry Wayne Jones and you're surrounded by his royal council, and if he's listening to Voch Lombardi right now, look, he's definitely not.
He's gonna catch it on demand, though.
But Jerry Wayne looked us in the eye and said, look, we're not signing Michael Parsons. That gives us a little bit more flexibility to do stuff. However much money Pickens is Dave Mulligan is asking for, it's gonna be less than what you was paying Michael. So you have room to make these moves now. Please sign George Pickens. Well, I took all the talking points. I'm sorry, y'all, but I'm passionate about that guy. Yeah. That dude's fantastic.
What's new?
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, you're good.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I mean, this is
whatever Voch says.
This is not one of the scenarios where we're gonna be at training camp talking about contracts, because it ends once free agency starts. Right. And with him, I'm against everything you said as far as like, hey, he's gonna test the mark. Sign the guy. Mm-hmm. Sign, like, get over with. How many times do we wait and sit around? You know, that's kind of the way the Cowboys do things. With the whole waiting around and then waiting for those prices to kind of see if they can get it at a cheaper value. But just do it. Just do it. If it was up to me, I'll do it right now. But again, there's a whole process to it. That's why I don't have that job. They know how to manage the cap and do all that. I'm not sure how much that contract will look like as far as money.
It ain't gonna be cheap.
It is not gonna be cheap. But you talk about the chemistry. I'm with you there. Like as far, not that the other guys have ever been an issue. They haven't. But you just see the chemistry that he has with CeeDee Lamb along with Dak. I mean, it's just a different energy here, and it's exciting to see that. And also, you talk about his personality. Since the moment he got here, I've never seen him give an attitude, never seen him in a bad mood. He's so funny. He's such a chill guy. He's nothing that I heard as far as rumors when that trade was made that people were talking about, well, he gives this attitude or whatever. And I think the dilemma there or the issues there were more like him and the coaches rather than him and teammates. But I haven't seen anything. He seems very happy to be here. And the energy is just amazing. It reminds me going back to when Zeke was here, that 2016 season, as far as just being
Energy.
completely different energy-wise. So whatever it costs, just pay it.
Out of your pocket.
Give him
Out of your pocket, not mine. Yeah.
I ain't got it. He got it.
Yeah, the options.
Yeah.
Sign, tag, trade, walk. Those are your options right there.
Yep.
And so you have to determine, which ones. And this is when Jerry Jones talks about the general manager. You have conversations about this. And the one thing I know from my experience working in player personnel here is that Jerry will always listen to everybody who is involved. And so those would be, I think, in a situation where, you look at it and you talk to the cap guys and you say, okay, where are we at on this cap? How is it going to look in the future for us if we sign or tag this guy? And then the next thing you do is then you ask the coaches, well, where would we be without him? Well, man, boss, listen, we didn't have CD for 3 weeks, and look what, our offense didn't completely fall off the map. And then you look at, then you ask then the trade guys or the personnel guys, listen, if we don't have an intent of signing him, if it becomes too expensive for us, we need to think about maybe moving on from him, maybe getting more, maybe there's some value. Then if you're Jerry Jones, like, okay, let's float some ideas here. Let's, pro guys get on the phone. Let's see what kind of value we can get from this guy. And those are the conversations you have. And I'm not sitting there saying, oh, trade the guy or do, I'm just saying these are the options that they go through right now. He's going to talk to all three parties involved, the coaches, the cap guys, and then your scouts. And then that'll be your best way of making the determination. I'm sure everybody in that room is saying, hey, having him here has been a blessing for us. Yeah. But you also have to run this with the thought of like, can we afford him? And if we can't, what value can we get from him playing at such a high level right now?
So I'm just reading the chat, and shouts out to everybody in the chat. And one thing
you were listening to the chat just a second ago.
Yeah, my bad. One thing that I'm seeing here or there is people kind of bringing up the agent, and shouts out to all the media people. They've been asking Jerry like, hey man. Pickens, that's the agent, is that going to roll over? Like, and Jerry has said, nah, I ain't, there's no problem. It's da-da-da. What do y'all think? Like, I know Jerry can be ambiguous sometimes, and sometimes he'll say something and he may not be whatever. What do y'all think? Do y'all think that there'll be some agent rollover? Jerry's he's done deals for years. He's a seasoned businessman. He probably won't get in his feelings. Kind of got in his feelings with old Parsons, though. You know what I mean? So do y'all think that that's realistic?
Well, I believe that, as any good businessman does, I don't think it will matter from the standpoint of just the agent. I think things got hairy, and I think they got hairy because of the relationship between Jerry and Micah. I think there was some expectations when they met that the deal was agreed to, and then he came back and said something different. So the agent kind of became, in my opinion, the agent kind of became collateral damage as a part of that.
I agree.
I think it was more about the handshake between Jerry and Micah, that Jerry thought they had a deal. Whether they did or didn't, he thought they did. And so for me, that's where I'm like, I don't think this rolls over to George Pickens. I think Jerry probably has or is trying to establish a relationship with George Pickens like he does with all of his top players. Not just top players. Jerry likes to develop relationships with his players. And so my guess is he's developing that relationship. And at that point, it's going to be a situation where whoever the agent is, he's going to negotiate it and try to get whatever he thinks is in the best interest of the Cowboys. I don't think it will matter.
I think this is where Steven maybe will step in and say, listen, with Mulugeta, Jerry, remember last time we went through this, we probably don't want to go through this again. And it's a difficult conversation because Jerry is accustomed to dealing with things the way he is. Again, I say this, he listens. He's very good at that. I've never worked with anybody that listens better than him. I mean, he will let you give your opinion. But then someone in the organization needs to step up and say, remember, here we are. We got David Mulugeta again. Maybe we need to think about, let us handle this end of it. Let us do this about it. So, I think it got very, very personal. And I think that, to me, that's why with Micah and Jerry, he thought he had a deal. Micah's like, whoa, wait a minute, we didn't have a deal. And then David Mulugeta, I think Derek's absolutely right. I think he was collateral damage in this thing. Hey, good for him. David Mulugeta is a son of a bee to have to deal with, and I say that with respect.
Yeah. If you're going to have an agent, you probably want somebody.
I tell you what, you want that man in Austin, Texas, working for you because he will get things done, and he gets it done on a very high level. So this one's probably not going to be cheap, but you know what? This player is young and he's playing his ass off right now, and that's what that's the proof. Yeah. Just put on the tape. CeeDee Lamb goes, gets injured. This team completely, and the quarterback and the play caller and the offensive line, the running back have something to do with that. But that son of a gun has kept you afloat. Yeah. When it came to with CD being out.
I think it's important that the Cowboys really, really study, because there are other teams out there who are carrying 2 big-time wide receivers and paying them as such. And they need to study those teams and see what they're doing and see what their cap looks like, because that will help them and help inform them, especially the Eagles. You look at, they're paying a quarterback, they're paying 2 top wide receivers, they're paying a running back. So they're probably going to have to look at that and say, okay, how are they making it work? Is there anything from how they're doing it that would work for us? And then from there, try to make some decisions on how they want to go. Because Cowboys have some players that they've paid already. Like they paid Bland, they paid. There are guys that are already paid, so they're gonna have to figure out how to make that work if they're gonna have 2 highly paid wide receivers. And I think that's something that, if they're doing their due diligence, which I expect they will, they're going to be looking at those things and investigating those things to see how doable it is and how much they can really carry that on their cap.
Hit them buttons and cut all that non-guaranteed money from some of them cats on that side of the ball and get it done.
All right, we're going to take our first break. We will come back. We will dive into the Denver defense, man. There's so much to understand about this defense. This might just be the biggest challenge that Dak Prescott has had this season. We'll talk about that when we come back. This is DallasCowboys.com radio.
How's it going? You see that Cowboys game?
Oh, I watched. Been seeing some good things.
Totally. They have some talent.
Yup, some great talent.
And they got some fight.
Hoping this is the year.
Me too. Oh, I'm Cody, by the way.
I'm Travis.
Nice to meet you, Travis. Go Cowboys.
Go Cowboys!
Make a new friend based solely on their shirt choice. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America, the official bank of the Dallas Cowboys. Copyright 2025 Bank of America Corporation.
If you shout, "How about them Cowboys?" you have that undeniable passion that's the heart of Cowboys Nation. And if you like to drink Dr. Pepper, you love the unique blend of its 23 flavors. Together, your one-of-a-kind fandom paired with the one-of-a-kind taste of a delicious ice-cold Dr. Pepper is the game day lineup that can't be beat. Better yet, gather your Cowboys and Dr. Pepper fan friends to watch the next game and crack open a delicious ice-cold Dr. Pepper for everyone. The wins will be even tastier. It's a pepper thing.
It's the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black. And right now, Cowboys fans can get 15% off their $75 order. Plus, because every deal needs a playmaker, your order will include a free 5-piece skincare set and free shipping. The Jack Black Playmaker is 4 of Jack's favorites and a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Make a play for the Playmaker at getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code CowboysVIP. That's getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code CowboysVIP.
I'm home. Hey, Mom, before you ask, I've done my homework and the dishwasher's unloaded.
Nice. Hey, can you... Hey, hon, yes, I've got the finale ready to play. Here's your wine.
Wow. Isn't it nice not having to ask? We think so. That's why if there's a network interruption, AT&T will proactively credit you for a full day of service. Guaranteed. Credit for fiber downtime lasting 20 minutes or more, or for wireless downtime lasting 60 minutes or more caused by a single incident impacting 10 or more towers. Restrictions and exclusions apply. See att.com/guarantee for details.
Back to the break.
Choose perfection. Choose LG OLED Evo. Check out the best TV in the game at LG.com.
Welcome back. It is the second segment of the break. We're live from the SWBC Mortgage Studios at the Star. And let's talk about the Denver defense also real quick. This segment is brought to you by blockchain.com. All right.
You would swear that Voch is about to get a cut from blockchain.
Yeah.
the way you're like, bro, come on.
It's right out here. Just get it.
Just come
blockchain.
On, take it.
All right,
They don't
here we
say
go.
Thanks, Voch, or nothing. They just
Denver defense versus Dallas offense. What you got?
Tell them what you said during the break.
Man, this defense makes me jealous. I'm going to say it. It makes me jealous. I didn't think of the Cowboys defense in that way till I watched these guys closely. This group of guys in Denver makes you feel like the Cowboys are a collection of players, just a bunch of dudes. And look, they're all talented in their own right. But this Broncos defense is a system that works as a unit, and they're all complementary of each other. They got three big guys in the middle that the average fan ain't never heard of. Zach Allen, DJ Jones, and John Franklin Myers. I know Zach and DJ. I don't know Mr. Three first names here. I mean, I've probably seen him once and just didn't. He's not a guy that just sticks out in your mind in that way. But how they operate as a big three-dude unit. They clog up stuff. They push the line of scrimmage. They're very strong, and they're very hard to move. They demand that you double team them, and if you don't double team them, boy, they're going to just win that one-on-one matchup. So they force you to do that. And while you're focused on that, they got guys on the outside that clear up everything from sideline to sideline. So the previous weeks, we were like, hey, man, let's work some of this outside stuff and get Blue going. Yeah. They got dudes that can run. And just here's an example. You remember how once upon a time Michael Parsons was a Cowboy, and if he was at edge, some fast dude to get to the edge, Michael would chase that guy down. Yeah. Now we got Jadeveon Clowney here. So we need safety help to kind of deal with those guys that are running sideline to sideline. These dudes get it done, Brian Broaddus. They got pass rushers, they got cover guys, and they all work together as a great big unit. And it made me jealous because I would rather have a defense filled with people that I've never heard of before. We all know Pat, right? Surtain. But the rest of these guys are a collection of guys that you really got to watch film to really appreciate. And boy, I wish we had it like that, Brian.
I'll tell you something though, my friend.
Yes, sir.
You got an offense that could go against these guys.
100%.
Oh,
100%.
You got an offense. You got an offense that could go against these guys.
You doubted that?
But
I didn't know. I was worried.
He's not wrong. Yeah. His assessment of this defense. But you know what? This is going to be a football war. Yeah. It really will be. And if you get BB back, and this is the things that we talked about, and we've been talking about in the show when we break these things down. You get your three big inside offensive linemen going in this game. Yeah. They're going to have their big guys going in. You were at a disadvantage against Carolina. Carolina got after you. They really affected the way that you played along the line of scrimmage. You didn't play with power in that game. You didn't play with movement. You didn't play with toughness. But, if you don't play with that against these guys now, you're going to have Carolina problems. Yeah. But I feel like, though, and I think Voch will tell you this too, I feel like there's areas that you can match up against them and play against. Now, we'll see what happens on the edge with these two guys. I mean, when you start to talk about Cooper and Benito, these guys are getting off the football at a high rate. And, I mean, they are gaining ground. Both of them, always one of those metrics we talk about is the get off on snap. 0.73, 0.70. Those are two of the top, get-offs in the league. And that's what they're big on. They want to be able to do that. They want to cause problems in the middle. All those kind of no-name guys are going to do things as far as moving around. They're going to twist. They're going to make you have to deal with them, the movement as those edge rushers are going off. Yeah. This game is going to hinge. Dallas throwing the football will hinge on their ability for the inside three to control what's going on. Yeah, the pass rush off the edge, Dak can handle those things. Dak is good at handling those things. Dak needs a place to step up in this game. And if those inside three, we've talked about Green Bay, same way. Green Bay came with guys smoking off the edge, whether it be Micah or Gary. They had guys, but they handled all those guys. The inside, Dak had a place to step up and throw the football. This game could very well, for the Cowboys offensively, hinge on how well those inside three play.
Derek said something earlier, being like this is the biggest test for the offense and all this kind of stuff. I think you're going to learn a whole bunch about your offense in this game.
I totally agree with you.
If you just look at the Cowboys and who they've played good teams, but you wouldn't think of those teams as having defensive juggernauts. Like those teams play good defense. The Eagles play good defense. Even Green Bay, like they'll play good defense, but nobody would call them like this perfect defense that just can't be handled. Like there's matchups you can just deal with in that way. This Broncos defense from the top to the bottom, from the D linemen, the linebackers, the corners, safeties, is not a bunch of holes in them. It's two of them that I'm about to tell you in a little bit. But if the Cowboys can go out here and do the same offensive get down that they've been doing the past few weeks, 40 points is heavy.
Yeah.
40 points is a lot to ask for. But in the event that they do, you can really look at this Cowboys offense and say, man, there's not a team that can stop this Cowboys offense, because this defense is so ridiculous in that way. Please.
Real quick, the Giants put up 32 on them.
That ain't even true. I mean, it definitely happened, but football is weird.
No, I get that.
Yeah.
And the reason why I said that is because I wanted to ask you, okay, so how were the Giants able to put up 32 against this vaunted defense?
Ladies and gentlemen, football is weird, and it's the National Football League, and everybody's kind of good, and you can say, well, the young quarterback, all the film isn't all the way there. You can make the argument that maybe the Broncos were overlooking the Giants in a way that happens with these good teams. Sometimes Cowboys have been guilty of that sometimes, but for the most part, if you look at the 7 weeks of film, and there was even a point in the Giants game where the Broncos said, all right, y'all, this is enough.
Yeah.
And let's stop some of this nonsense that they're doing. And it all happened within that last portion of the game there.
Quarter, yeah.
If you look at the whole picture of what the Broncos are, they'll give up a weird game versus the Giants and still be the number one team in the league, like the number one defense in the league. That's how legit that these guys are. When the Cowboys go out and they'll have a big game against the Packers, right? Going into that game, everybody's like, well, the Packers are a great defense, but on TV they'll come back, well, maybe the Packers aren't as good as we thought. There's no way anybody could ever say that about this Broncos team, because they're good. They stop the run, they rush the passer, they're topping all these things, right? How they work the safeties, blitzing the safeties, and their man coverage and their one high. They're going to lean on man coverage. They're going to trust it the most. It's about 50-50.
Yeah.
But they go out there and they trust their guys to go in man coverage. And it works.
Yeah.
And it works. And now this is a time in football where we're daring you to play man so that we can whoop you. And the Broncos say, fine, we'll do it. If the Cowboys can go out there, in which I think they should. I don't think they should be afraid of Surtain. I think they should go find Moss. I think they should work them safeties. Is going to be a lot of man, cover one, cover three. And if you're an offensive dude, cover one, cover three is the same thing. Mm-hmm. Go back and watch how Pickens dealt with Surtain last year.
Yeah.
The box score says 2 for 29, but there was a 56-yard pass that was called back because of holding, a 6-yard touchdown, and a DPI that would have been 30 yards if Surtain wasn't holding. So that and look, football math don't work. It didn't happen. Pickens was 2 for 29, but Pickens is a dude too. So if I'm the Cowboys and if I know Shotty and Dak and their personality, they're not gonna run away from any challenge. Just like last week, Trey Amos was the better corner. We're gonna try Trey Amos, but we're also gonna find Lattimore and we're also gonna find Sanders still, because they're the scrubs of this defense. Please.
Yeah, one other thing real quick, just to note, one of the two games that the Broncos have lost this year was to the other team that I think is, along with the Cowboys, the best offensive team in the league. Colts. They put up 29 on them, beat them 29-28. Yep. It was a close game. It was at Indianapolis, but just for a frame of reference, a good offense was able to put up a decent amount of points. It certainly wasn't approaching 40, but they were able to put up 29, and they were able to get a win. That's, I think, something worth thinking about.
I think the Colts gave you a little bit of an idea, and the Colts, I think, have got a good offensive line. They ran the ball with some purpose. And I mean, with Taylor and their back and stuff like that, there were some opportunities. I think everything that Voch said was absolutely right about this team. There's things that happen and they kind of flipped a switch, and all of a sudden, I mean, they also got some help too. A rookie quarterback, they're playing coverage late in the game, 4 minutes left, and all of a sudden they get an interception, and that kind of turned things around to where it put the Colts back. Put the Broncos back in the thing. I am not going away from Surtain. I agree with you. I agree with you about attacking Riley Moss too. Yeah. And I know the numbers say, but there's some deep, when th've given up some plays down the field, it's been Riley Moss. I mean, Riley Moss does not run great. And so all of a sudden there's that possibility of getting separation on him and making some plays. So some of the things that Dallas can do, I just do worry about the inside guys. Can your inside three win against their inside three? And then you'll figure out everything else, with the outside and those pass rushers. They're tremendous the way they get off the ball, but you've got things that should bother them. Yeah. This is not going to be a one-sided fight. This is going to be something that Vance Joseph has got to figure out. Like, he's got to worry about Williams coming in there and running the football and having that mentality like, okay, you guys, Sean Payton, you guys moved on from me. Here I am. I'm about to make this really, really difficult for you. And, they've got to deal with a tight end that catches the ball really well. They're going to have to deal with two wide receivers. If you try and take one of these guys, say you travel Surtain, and this is a team that's very, very balanced. Voch told you, very balanced on man zone. Yeah. Sometimes teams are just massively swung one way or another, not the Broncos. And that's what makes them unique is they can kind of morph into whatever they need to be.
Yeah, and just to be clear, the Cowboys are the best quarterback and group of receivers that the Broncos played this year. They played the Eagles.
They played the Eagles,
and you got the wide receivers over there. But Jalen Hurts is really a running back, Bryan.
Right.
But if we're just talking about like the whole passing offense, like all together,
I agree.
Cowboys are the most dangerous passing offense that the Broncos will have to see. So if you're Vance Joseph, you have to now balance. Okay, well, do we bring more guys forward to deal with the run, or do we, trust that the 3 down linemen can deal with the front and go play more coverage? And at that point, it's up to the Cowboys, Dak, Schottenheimer, and company to go, all right, this is how we need to make an adjustment per what you're doing.
I think that, guys, to me personally, this is where, if you look at where the Broncos cause you problems, is they cause you problems on the pass rush on 2nd and 3rd down. Yeah. You don't want to get to 3rd down on these guys and have to deal with that with the pass rush. This might be one of these games, we've talked about this in the past. I think Brian Schottenheimer is really good at doing adjustments this way. Maybe it's one of these things where early downs, 1st down, a lot of throwing. Just go ahead, because their sack numbers on 1st down are not as high as they are on 2nd and 3rd down. So all of a sudden, if you throw early, then now you start to think about running the ball maybe on 2nd and 3rd down. Maybe you could stay ahead of the chains that way. Everybody's bad when you get them in 3rd and long, especially playing at that place. The crowd noise, the players, all that's going to be a problem. But maybe this is a game where Brian Schottenheimer has to think of early down pass and then 2nd and 3rd down runs to kind of throw off Vance Joseph and this crew.
All right, we're going to take our final break. We're going to come back, and I want to talk a little bit about this 3-4 defense. The time that Cowboys have had the most struggles when it came to their running game was against the 3-4 defense. I want to talk to you guys about similarities or differences that you see in how they deployed the 3-4 versus how Carolina deployed the 3-4. We'll talk about that when we come back. This is DallasCowboys.com radio.
I'm home. Hey, Mom, before you ask, I've done my homework and the dishwasher's unloaded.
Nice. Hey, can you... Hey, hon, yes, I've got the finale ready to play. Here's your wine.
Wow. Isn't it nice not having to ask? We think so. That's why if there's a network interruption, AT&T will proactively credit you for a full day of service, guaranteed. Credit for fiber downtime lasting 20 minutes or more, or for wireless downtime lasting 60 minutes or more caused by a single incident impacting 10 or more towers. Restrictions and exclusions apply. See att.com/guarantee for details.
If you can't be at the stadium, there's no better way to watch your Cowboys than on an LG OLED Evo TV. That's because everything you see is more lifelike. Every play, every hit. I mean, you might as well be on the sidelines. That's how clear it is. It's all thanks to LG's legendary technology. Perfect black, over 8.3 million self-lit pixels. No one comes close. LG OLED Evo is the best TV in the game for a reason. See for yourself at lg.com/OLED Evo.
It's the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black. And right now, Cowboys fans can get 15% off their $75 order. Plus, because every deal needs a playmaker, your order will include a free 5-piece skincare set and free shipping. The Jack Black Playmaker is 4 of Jack's favorites and a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Make a play for the playmaker at getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code CowboysVIP. That's getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code CowboysVIP.
How's it going? You see that Cowboys game?
Oh, I watched. Been seeing some good things.
Totally. They have some talent.
Yup, some great talent.
And they got some fight.
Hoping this is the year.
Me too. Oh, I'm Cody, by the way.
I'm Travis.
Nice to meet you, Travis. Go Cowboys.
Go Cowboys!
Make a new friend based solely on their shirt choice. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America, the official bank of the Dallas Cowboys. Copyright 2025 Bank of America Corporation.
From the field to the festivities, Lucchese embodies the essence of luxury and tradition. Handcrafted with meticulous precision, each pair offers unmatched comfort and style. Stand tall while you're tailgating or cheering in the stands with the Dallas Cowboys collection by Lucchese. Shop the collection today at the Lucchese store at the Star in Frisco or online at lucchese.com. Lucchese, the official boot of the Dallas Cowboys and Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders.
Back to the break.
Are we live already?
Go.
Oh, we are live. Yeah. AT&T connecting changes everything.
They was listening to us this whole time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't
hear? I
know
was
that?
hearing Beam over here, but I didn't hear.
I don't be listening to me. My fault, man.
No, none of y'all have on headphones, so I mean, how would
No,
you
I
hear
always
me?
hear it right here, but I didn't hear the go.
I just quit talking when everybody else.
My
quit
bad,
talking.
Beam. Sorry, Chris.
And y'all just started talking.
That
about
is a
Denver.
dangerous way to live in the radio and podcasting game. I'm
That's
just going to let you know.
Let's get
Hot
fired.
mics are real.
Let's get fired.
No,
man. Do
let's
something.
not. I got college to pay for, so.
You ain't getting fired.
What?
I'll go out
Why
in the
would
blaze
you
of glory.
get fired, Derek?
Because all of this is still my responsibility. That's why.
You'll be fine. You'll be fine. They'll come escort me out the building. You'll be fine.
Start the drumming
And then
career
call
early.
me and say,
Why
"Can
you-
you come up there? I'd like to talk to you up there."
Why'd you pick this guy? Why this guy?
That's exactly what it
Heidi's
is.
a nice lady. She'll help you out. Heidi.
That's the lady I met.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, she cool.
You met Heidi?
Yeah, he met Heidi.
Heidi's good people.
She cool.
All right. All right, let's
What's your
finish this
question,
thing off
man?
strong. Let's talk about 3-4 defense. I did hear Shotty say earlier in the week that they don't run 3-4 in the same way that Carolina does. But I want to talk to you guys about some of the specific things that you saw when they played Carolina and how Carolina was so disruptive, particularly in the running game. And if any of those things do you see as being issues that may come from this defense, from Denver's defense, as a result?
I guess Shotty was alluding to that maybe Carolina plays more of a true zero. That's a guy head up over the center.
Up, yeah.
And sometimes, I think for the most part, Denver will kind of shade that guy, just move him over a little bit and then maybe kind of turn him a little bit, stagger him a little bit. It's just kind of how you deal with the center or whatnot. And if BB is playing versus Hoffman is playing, that matters. Derek Brown, who you would think would be like more of a B gap guy, is playing like a 4-5 tech kind of kind of guy, 4-5 tech kind of guy. I don't think that the Broncos particularly do that. I think the Broncos are more like heavy, strong, stout. I think Derek Brown is the type of dude that wants to move around a little more. Bobby Brown's another like that. So they're similar, but I also think that the Broncos linebackers, they play more 20 backers, and that's like head up over the guard or whatever. And
Before you go, Brian, real quick, you mentioned that it mattered this how they play that zero tech. It matters with if BB's playing or not. Why?
Well, because you just don't want to run right into BB because BB's powerful enough to like stop that.
More powerful than Hoffman.
More powerful than Hoffman. If you're lined up against someone that's shaded over you, but maybe it's kind of slanted, canted to the side a little bit, that gives Hoffman a little bit of a break because he got a little more room in front of him, and maybe he has to be a little more physical this way. Or if the left guard is comboing, that zero is close to the left guard, so it helps us a little bit. And the Panthers may think that it helps them because of the movement ability or the gap exchange stuff. If you're a big, strong dude just lined up over the zero and you're a center and you're not getting help, you got to be powerful right there. And BB has much more of an anchor than Hoffman does.
Yeah, I mean, everything he says is right. That you want somebody, like I say, Hoffman in that game against Carolina, man, they had a hard time when it came to the combo blocks of like making sure that guys were on the right guy. I'm not saying right guy or wrong guy. I mean, I'm just talking about, okay, we're going to double team this guy. And then like Smith, maybe he's used to playing with BB and he knows if he bumps that guy enough, that's going to get over there, that BB's going to get in place. They didn't do that with Hoffman. I mean, it was a struggle for like, there were several times where they were trying to double and they could not get the double team to mesh and be able to get the blocker on the right guy and be able to finish those blocks. So it's going to be really, really a key in this game is you're going to have to be able to handle those inside guys. And let me tell you this, this is not just guys that are just kind of stay around and fight you at the line of scrimmage. These are get up the field kind of, and like they're going to try and walk you. I mean, they're going to try and make moves, and they're going to try and be quick. But they're big, and that's the thing is they're going to try and walk you into the pocket or make a movement where like, okay, we're going to twist this guy and he's going to get home. And if you're a quarterback that's sitting in the pocket and you just hold the ball, and all of a sudden, you know, the edges are by you, and now you've got these defensive tackle in your lap, you know, that's going to be a problem. But they are really good at. These are good pass rushing tackles. Yeah. They're not just, you know, let the grass die under their feet and just kind of stand there and fight with you. They're getting up the field. That's good. That's the thing with Carolina is Carolina's more that grass under your feet guys, whereas the Broncos are get up the field defensive tackle.
Brian Broaddus, you made such a fantastic point. Fantastic, sir. If you're a center. And I'm just saying because I was a center, but I wasn't all that big. You kind of like when teams try to read you a little bit. Like it lets you hang around the fight a little longer. So like if I'm Brock Hoffman and you're a zero and you're trying to read me and not
like
get
two
upfield
gap versus one,
I get to hang around a little bit and maybe somebody will run the other way to keep me in the fight. But the one thing I hated was those teams that wasn't coached really well, that didn't read, and they just ran right upfield at you. I used to hate that because now I got to bring power to the party. That's a fantastic point, Brian Broaddus. Denver does that. Denver try to run right through your face, which is different than Carolina.
So to that point, talk to me about Booker, who came back last week from injury. How did he look last week? Is he back to himself? Is his power there? Because that seems like that's going to be a very important part of what he's going to need this week, particularly against this front.
I think the biggest issue with Booker and really everybody on his offensive line is that they just got to be together and deal with like gap exchanges better. They got to deal with slants, movement, and all that kind of stuff. If this is just about lining up and being strong and just pushing people, you will not have a problem with him at all. Like if it's just his job to combo one-on-one, base block, whatever, down block, he's fine. But if you get a slant from the front and Benito comes looping inside, then that's where big issues come.
Yeah, I think to me when you watch Booker play, the pass set I think is pretty good.
It's nice.
And because he's for a big man, he could bend at the knees and just sit down and then fight you that way. It's when all of a sudden there is that movement, then he gets a little, and it happens to Guyton too. Guyton is a lot less stronger than Booker. And so he does it leaning forward to try and stop the defender, and then he can reset. Whereas Booker will sit and get his hands inside and kind of control you that way. So this will be a good matchup for both Smith and I think for Booker with the inside because, yeah, these guys are quick and they try and use some pass rush moves and stuff on you, but they play with, we keep saying, so much power that if you get inside on these guys and hold it and sit down on them, that plays right into the wheelhouse of Booker. It's when we see the gap exchange stuff that's when the problem's when he's got to pass a guy and then all of a sudden he gets out of whack. He's getting forward a little bit, gets out of whack, and then that guy's able to get around him.
Quick question. I know you guys said you don't want the Cowboys to shy away from throwing the ball and with the corners that are there, but looking at the offensive line specifically, do you think that for this game, are they better suited for pass protection or to run the football?
Denver's going to give you props both ways. Trying to move those guys is very difficult. And in terms of pass setting, where you find most of your issues from is from your outside guys. And they got two outside guys that can whoop ass real quick. So you really just got to line up and just like you can't be afraid of either. I think the Cowboys should try to run the football because they're really good setting up the action stuff. And you might want to wear these guys down over time. If this is going to be a long game, a close game, you don't want Denver's pass rushers to be standing up and they good and they not huffing. You might want to wear those guys down early a little bit just to give you an opportunity to pass the ball freely later in the game. But on that same token, it's probably better for us to throw the ball because if I can find the weakness, it's Riley Moss, it's their nickel corner, whatever his name is, and their safety Hufanga. Just in case he ends up on one of your slot guys like CeeDee Lamb or something, you could really whoop up on him. So you really have to do both. And I think the best way to do it is you can't coach scared, you can't play scared. If you fail, whatever, punt the ball. Brian Anger may get some action this week because that is a tough top-tier team, but you can't be afraid to do either.
Yeah, the thing that they were able to do, and I was watching Philadelphia, talking about throw the ball. Philadelphia, they throw with the Saquon Barkley, the wheel route. Mm-hmm. And, we always talk about you get maybe a pick and then the wheel, and they got to pick a couple of different times on these linebackers, and were able to make plays with the running back throwing the ball up the field. So I don't think there's any I would feel a lot different if this was the game going into the Jets where you have 4 offensive linemen out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now you got to think about a different game plan. To me, that play sheet that Brian Schottenheimer has, go for it. Just play open football. You got weapons, they've got defenders, but you're equipped to handle what they're going to try and do to you. But that Jets game plan, if it was the 4 backup offensive linemen and Steele, I think you might call this game a lot differently.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to take actually, we're done. We're going to be back
home
tomorrow. Yeah, we'll be back tomorrow. And tomorrow we're going to wrap this thing up and talk to you about what we think is going to happen on Sunday. This will be a tough matchup for the Cowboys, but we'll wrap that all up for you. Yeah, we'll wrap this all up for you tomorrow. Till then, for Voch Lombardi, Bryan, Broaddus, and Ambar Garcia, I'm Derek Eagleton. This has been The Break live on DallasCowboys.com radio.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!